Good morning, Buck fans. What's up? This is the Bucs Report, the pregame show with your host, AJ Turnup. And we always with the 102.9, the Aftermath Broad Street South Radio. How y'all doing? Today is the day. It's finally here. The Buccaneers are playing the Detroit Lions. And also, if you guys didn't check it out, go last night. Coach Slick, we were talking about the Bucs and Detroit matchup. So please go back and check that out on, again, the Aftermath on 102.9, the game Broad Street South Radio. Now, I'm just going to give you all a quick reminder of what to expect for the Bucs matchup. Now, as I told you guys, the Bucs are at their healthiest as they ever been this entire season so far. I'm glad that Mike Evans is back. I'm glad that we are finally going to have Canty on the field. So Servassier is going to be able to play. So the good thing is we will have the key thing that is going to give us an advantage over the Detroit Lions today, in my opinion, is going to be depth. That is the key word, Buck fans. I want you guys to ingrain that today, depth. Depth is very, very important, especially in these times, especially when we have a passing league and you need a pass rush. You don't want your stars to be super tired, and you want guys that know how to be able to step in and make things happen. Because as of right now, I'm not too certain, but they said that Nelson might not be playing due to concussion protocol, and also Shaq Barrett has come down with an illness. Now, if Shaq Barrett goes out, that will be a little cause for concern, but I'm not worried because of the depth. I think Yaya is going to have a good game today. He is stepping up and doing a good job. We still have a strong linebacking core with Levante and Devin White. And then Carlton Davis and Dean are going to be there. And the good thing is it's depth. If something happens to either or, I'm confident with Delaney. I'm actually a lot more confident in Zion now. He has changed my entire thought process of him. I thought that he just was a watch and he just didn't know what he's doing. But he's actually, I guess the game has slowed down for him and he is making a name for himself. Hell, we already know he can tackle. So the defensive part of the side, the Bucs, they have a lot in the arsenal. And I told you guys, as I said last night, and I've been saying this all week, one of the key things that the Bucs have going into this game is Canty is going to be a key figure due to the fact that the Detroit Lions do not have enough film to really study Canty. All they can truly go back is the one game that he did against the Vikings. And as you guys saw, Buck fans, he actually was making some noise before he re-injured himself. But with that being said, Detroit is not going to really, they don't have enough to really study on how to attack him. Now, Slick said this best. I do think that Canty should be used in the pass rushing, not running. Leave that to the big dogs in Vea, Golston, and Green. And then also you can load the box with Devin White because we know he's really good at stopping the run. You could put Antoine Winfield down there as well if you want to be on the safe side. So the biggest thing that we want to do, and the key thing is the Bucs need to take away the run immediately. They need to take that away. They need to make the Detroit Lions give up on the run, I'd say by the end of the first quarter. If they can do that, they would be in great shape because let me look at it again. These are the people who are out on the line. Now you have the guard in Jonah Jackson. That is going to be detrimental. Don't get it twisted. This Detroit Lions offense is gritty. They're very physical and they're tough, but at the same time, they cannot cover everybody. Now I say that again. You have to double Vita. If you don't double Vita, you're being disrespectful. They still have a good line, but Vita, you have to do that. Golston is good against the run. Green is good against the run. Now, when the pass rush comes, Canty, I think his speed is going to be too much to overmatch the Detroit Lions line. And here's the thing. it's not necessarily that Kancey has to get the sacks. Now I want him to, but that pressure is going to be there. And this is what I mean. If Kancey can make Goff hesitate and that one mistake, then that's when the linebackers, if they blitz, they can get a sack. So this is what I'm saying. Detroit has to stop one or the other. So if you double Vita, that means Kancey get a chance to go off. And then even then, let's say Goff tries to run out of the pocket, then you have Yaya, Levante, and if Shaq plays, they're gonna eat. So that's why I said that this front seven is very stout, and Detroit is not prepared for that. Detroit has yet to play a defense with a stout like core like we do, and it's not just individuality players. The Bucs defense as a unit is very on point. They work together. Anybody can be a star at that moment. Now you know the key guys of the Bucs defense is Levante, Devin, Antoine Winfield, and Vita Vea. Those are your superstars, but everybody else plays their part and they can do what they need to do in order to make things happen. So with this defensive side, I do think that the Buccaneers are going to have their way. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy wash, but at the same time, I think this front seven is going to make Goff miserable. And as we already know, statistically speaking, he's not that good this season against a blitz. And what does Bowles like to do? Call design blitzes. So I will not be surprised if Antoine Winfield is loaded in the box and getting ready to make a blitz, or one of the corners, Izien, can make a blitz. Again, the Bucs on defense have too many unknown guys that can make things happen. I don't think the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator is paying attention to the likes of Izien. He's going to be concerned about Levante, Winfield, Devin, and Vita Vea. This is a time that the secondary, though, needs to take advantage of that. So if Goff throws terrible passes, that means Carlton Davis. We already know what to expect of Carlton Davis. I think Carlton Davis is going to be he's a lockdown corner. He's physical, but he's going to have to start getting interceptions. So if Goff throws in that vicinity and you know you can get the pick, catch him. I'm very confident in Dean, but I hope Dean is getting better, because so far this season we're frustrated. Buck fans, we are frustrated because when he gets hurt, he hasn't really done much to make us believe, but I think Dean will be just fine. Now, the biggest thing that I don't like, and for all you guys that know me, you know what I feel, how I feel when it comes to this with Bowles. Look at it again. I do not like cushion coverage for the most part. And and Coach Slick, my co-host Slick, has said it best. Bowles is a chess-minded defensive guy. He wants to see what the opponent receivers, what routes they run, what makes their offensive system work, what their play calling would be. And I'm not against that. And I understand it completely, because typically if we get scored on the first drive or the second drive, typically those first two drives, after that, the Bucs defense goes into tight lockdown mode. And I understand that, but I actually just want Bowles to sometimes take a chance, sometimes overwhelm them the first drive, overwhelm them to the point to where they panic. Because for all you know, let's say the Bucs, let's say on the first drive, the Bucs get a strip sack or they get an interception and they take it to the house. Now, Detroit has never been in a situation where if they get down by 7 to 10 points early, it's not guaranteed that they know how to persevere and get through that. So sometimes I just want to make my opponent's offense sweat a little bit. That's what I like. That is how I think it should go sometimes. But I understand what Bowles is trying to do and establish, but I just have a problem with this, because this is the type of team. Detroit Lions are a good team. You don't want this team to hang around. And as a matter of fact, they should not hang around. They have too many injuries that they have that is going to favor the Bucs. The Bucs need to take care of business. And the best way to beat a good team like this is put them down early and make them their quarterback have to be the hero and the savior. I like Montgomery, but Montgomery is not Swift. As I told people this already, the Detroit Lions are going to emulate what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. Now, the Eagles still have a better line. So I don't think that Detroit can come in and actually they can't try to do the same formula because this Bucs defense again is healthy. And I said with the presence of Kancey, now they really are going to have to mix it up because if they just do the run, the Bucs I think will be able to load the box and stop them. And we want to make Jared Goff beat us. I think Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but I'm not impressed. I'm not. He's good. He's very good, but he's not great. So if the Bucs simply do that, load the box, get mixed. If you got to do some cushion coverage, do it when it's 3rd and 17 or something. Then that's okay. But even then, don't go too deep to where they can almost pick it up. I think man coverage and jamming is a very good tool to beat this team. They don't have any true legit receivers that you can name off except St. Brown, and he's good, but he's not no Mike Evans or no Chris Godwin type of good. That's all I'm saying. So that is the defensive key to me, is simply loading the box, create turnovers, and make them one-dimensional. You make this team one-dimensional by the first quarter, I think they fold. And I think that's what is going to happen. Like I said, the two stars I think that are going to come out and shine today for your Buccaneers defense is going to be Antoine Winfield. I expect a pick from him because he's going to be loaded in the box. He's going to do a fake blitz. He's going to back out. Goff is going to panic and throw a quick out. And Antoine Winfield is either going to house it or he's going to just get a pick. Also, I think Kancey is going to be that secret gem I told you. I actually expect him to get a sack today and at least 3 quarterback pressures. So that is the offensive side the defensive side that I think that will happen. Now, let's get to the offense, guys. When it comes to Detroit, they lost a lot of. So Brian Branch is out. That's a major, major blow to the Detroit's defense because he was good. He was productive, very productive. So that's going to hurt them very much. Emmanuel Mosley being out, I think that hurts them. Josh Pascal is out. That hurts them. And Khalil Dorsey is out. So if I am the Bucs offense right now, I understand that Canales and Bowles want to get the run established. That's cool. But first, take advantage. Air it out. An aerial assault needs to happen. And I think that this Bucs offense is going to be a lot more polished after the bye week. But this is the team where you don't have to necessarily try to be super balanced. Use their weakness against them. Throw the damn ball. Get Mike Evans out there. Start with him first, because if Mike Evans starts to cook, then that means Godwin will cook. Then that means Palmer will cook. Otten will cook. That is what I want to see. We cannot miss out on this. You know why? That will take me back to the Bucs against the Pittsburgh Steelers last season. Remember when most of their starters in the secondary was out. What did Byron do? HB counters, running the ball, trying to, for no reason, against a run stuffer in Hayward. It made no sense. And what happened? The Bucs lost the game and they looked silly. I don't think that Canales will repeat that same mistake, and I hope he doesn't. But the Bucs cannot make that error again. This is a really good team. This is a very good team. So, pass. And for everybody else, you already know what I'm about to say next. I want to see some damn crossing routes. That's right. I want to see Palmer in the slot going up against their linebacking core because, let's be real, we know this already. Their biggest weapon on defense for Detroit is Hutchinson. And I don't see Hutchinson having a good day as much as people think he is. He's not beating Wirfs. Wirfs is too good. So if Detroit is smart, they're going to try to move him around. But Gedeke is having a hell of a game, guys. I can't believe it. JT Olsen said that, and I owe JT Olsen an apology. I said that last night on the Aftermath. Gedeke is balling. So with that being said now, who else on Detroit defensively are you really afraid of? If anything, Detroit is going to have to work as a unit, but I don't think they have enough talent to handle this Bucs offense. As I said, we get the crossing routes going. I want to see Palmer in a crossing route, and not in some shallow, but I want to see a deep crossing route. I want to see him destroy the middle. The Bucs need to take more advantages of passes in the middle and set that up, because a lot of defenses, when we go against them, they want to blitz Baker. So look at the middle of the field. The middle of the field is typically very wide open. Detroit doesn't have that defensive. They don't have a defensive front that scares me. Their pass rush is inconsistent. So I'm not scared of that. That's why I think the crossing routes will work. And also, we do need to get Cade Otton more involved in the passing game. Use him to run up the seam. I want to see him run up the seam. So that is why I truly think that this offense will do better. And also, I want to see Rachaad White in getting the ball more in passing. This is how it should be if I were them. If I'm the offense and I want to run up the gut a lot, Tucker or Vaughn. Those guys are better at blowing up the hole and blowing through and running through defenders. That is what's going to have to happen. The Bucs, if you're going to run the ball, I need it on a first down. I need it to be 2nd and 4, not 2nd and 9 or 8. We need a 2nd and 4, a 2nd and 3 if I can't help. If you can get a 2nd and 1 on almost every down, I would love that. But the point is, though, the Bucs need to play to their strengths and use their weakness, and use the Detroit's weakness against them. They're battered and bruised. I told you guys, with Branch being out, that is a significant thing, because now you can take deep shots. And I expect Baker, another thing, I expect Baker to go off, not just with his arms, but like I said, with his legs. I think there's going to be situations to where he can run for that first down and don't have to worry as much. Look at what he did in New Orleans. And truth be told, the Saints still defensively, I think, are better than Detroit, because they have a lot more playmakers. So with that being said, I don't see Baker having to panic if it's a 3rd and 2. I think when he runs, that will also frustrate the Detroit defense, which then means there's going to be more opportunities for the Bucs in the passing game, because Detroit might have to load the box or get a QB spy on Baker if he keeps utilizing his legs. So I think that will happen. And like I said, again, for Rachaad White, I want him to be more used in the passing game. We need to get a little bit of dink and dunks in there as well, because he's typically better when he gets the ball and he can try to make moves and make defenders miss. He does a hell of a job doing that. So Canales, I really hope that you play to your player strengths, which I think you will. I honestly think that this team is very capable of handling Detroit. I just think that Detroit is the darling team for the media now, because I've been looking and I'm just sitting back like, wait a minute, what is with all this hype? I get it. Detroit is doing very well, but if you think about all the teams that they've beaten, they have not faced a defense or a team like the Bucs. And with this, that's why I said this, and this is my final say, and why I said 31-10. I think the Bucs offense will actually play above average today, but I think that defense is going to be elite today. They're going to give them problems. I truly think that Canty is going to be that key factor that's just going to make Goff just not be able to handle himself. So that's why I say that. And if the passing game gets going like I think it will set up the run. And that's when Rachaad White, because if they don't load the box, that's when Rachaad White will be able to go off in the run game. So that's why I think the Bucs, if they come out, the key thing is that they need to be on offense. They need to be offense and defense, be aggressive, take advantage. And I think that's what's going to happen. So that is why I stated that the Bucs are going to win 31-10, and I stand behind that. The only way that this Bucs team loses is if the Bucs offense they come out too flat, and then the defense starts doing too much of this. If they do too much of that, then yes, you don't want this team hanging around. You don't. Now, I just don't want that. You want to put this team away. You put this team away early, you don't have to worry about that. Keep your foot on the gas, offense. Bulls, you cannot go into turtle mode. This game is not over until the clock hits 0-0-0-0. We want Detroit to look like this when they come in, but then we want them to walk out looking like this. Okay, guys? So this is the Bucs Report pregame show. As always, you can find me on 102.9, The Aftermath, Game Broad Street South Radio. And shout out to my co-host, Coach Slick, a.k.a. the British guy who's always flying on standby. And this is AJ Turner right here. And as always, go Bucs.